Hello and welcome to the BOOKphilic YouTube channel. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss the language processing system. As by name, it is suggesting that the system which processes a language is known as language processing system. So, in this language processing system, we are going to discuss the different phases of system. So, let us start with a program. Source program. So what do you mean by a source program? So the program that you write in your PC or mobile or tab or computer is known as source program. Suppose you have written C language in your computer, so this has become your source program. So source program generally is written in high level language. Source program is generally written in high level language, and this high level language is taken as an input to the preprocessor. Is taken as an input to the preprocessor. Preprocessor takes the high level language, and what it does here is the main function of preprocessor. It just takes out the modified source program as an output. Now, what do you mean by modified source program? Is there something modification in the source program? So the answer is yes. Suppose you have written a C language in your system, so there might be some operators, different types of operators, different types of variables, methods, functions, and there might be header file also, that is include stdio.h. Just simple as you can. Okay, so the main function of preprocessor is to remove the header file, and also the operator expansion of operators. Suppose there is a written a plus plus in your program. Suppose somewhere in your program a plus plus increment operator you have used, so the preprocessor has the function to expand the operator. So after preprocessor phase, the program that you have written will be consisting of a equal to a plus 1. As we know that a plus plus is nothing but a equal to a plus 1. So that is the main function of preprocessor. So hope you have understood. Now in the second phase, that is the compiler, which is the subject name compiler design. So modified source program is taken as an input to the compiler, and after compilation process it generates the targeted assembly program. Now what do you mean by modified source program has been told you. Now in the compiler phase, so we will be understanding the compiler phases. So after this video, we will be having the phases of compiler, in which you will be understanding the different phases of compiler and their respective functions as well. So what is the next output is that after compilation, it will generate the target assembly program. So what do you mean by target assembly program? Target assembly program means assembly level language which generally consists of mnemonics. Now what is mnemonics? So mnemonics is generally, suppose somewhere it is written that addition operation a plus plus, it is nothing but addition operation. So it will be using the mnemonics a double d add, and somewhere the subtraction part is there, so it will be using the mnemonics sub sub, and somewhere the multiplication program is there, so it will be using mul. So in this way the compilation, after compilation which is generated, that is assembly program, will be consisting of these types of keywords: mul, add, sub. Okay, so in the next, that is assembler. So the targeted assembly program that is just taken as the output from the compilation will be taken as an input to the assembler phase. Now assembler phase, in the assembler phase it will just takes the target assembly program and will generate the output relocatable machine code, which is here. Relocatable machine code. Now what do you mean by relocatable machine code? As it by name suggests that relocatable means that can be relocated, that can be relocated. Where relocated? Would you like to relocate it? Would you like to relocate it from Khidirpur to Madhya or from Kolkata to Mumbai? No. Relocatable machine code means you can just relocate it from the C drive to D drive or to D drive to E drive. Means you can easily relocate it. And another meaning is also is that you can just execute this after removal from the one PC to another. It will be clearing out in the next upcoming videos, but for the time being now you just have to understand that relocatable means something that can be relocated, and it is a machine code, and by name it is suggesting that machine code is nothing but a binary language. So binary language consists of zeros and ones. Zero, I have already told you that 0 and 1 is the binary code, but still machine cannot understand this 0 and 1 language. For our understanding, we just take 0 for off condition and 1 for the on condition. That is the meaning of a machine code. Means if a machine is representing 0 1, it means the machine was first of all switched off and then it was converted into the active state by providing some voltage. Might be it is of 5 voltage supply. So that's why the machine is representing zeros and one, and you will be understanding the digital binary language as well after some videos. So for the time being now you must have to understand that it generally takes the target assembly program as an input and generates the relocatable machine code. Now after that, the relocatable machine code, that is a binary language, is taken as an input to the linker and loader. So you will have to understand that there is a source program, and the source program, from the source program there are so many programs. So linker has the function of joining or linking all the programs together, and loader has the function of loading this program to a C drive or D drive where you have just mentioned your address of the PC. Okay, so there in that way address of memory, the loader will be loading that executable file. Now the target machine code is being taken as an output from the linker or loader. So now you will be understanding what is the .exe file. So .exe file is nothing but a file with an extension of .exe. The full form of .exe is executable file, and it is independent of the architecture of your operating system. Means if you want to run the C program from your one PC to another, you can easily move it to the PC and you can run it, because you just have to remove your .exe file from one PC to another. Now what does it mean? It means that if you are a programmer and doing a programming language in your Linux operating system, it is an operating system. Okay, so if you are programming in Linux operating system and you have just after compilation, you have gotten a exe file, then you just have to remove it and to upload it to the Windows operating system. Now in Windows operating system, you don't need to again compile the C program. You just have to execute the execute.exe file and it will run, and it will run your program. That's it. So leader and loader has that function of loading and generating the .exe file. So in this way, a language which is either a C language or a Python. Python is an interpreter language, but still Java, C, these are a compiler language. This takes compilation process. So in this way, a language is being processed from preprocessor to compiler, and compiler to assembler, assembler to linker and loader. That's it for this video. But still we want to continue with that compiler and interpreter. What is the main difference between the compiler and interpreter? So the first difference is that a compiler takes the entire program in one go. What does it mean? It means that if you have written your language in C language and your language needs the compilation process to generate the .exe file or target program code, then you will have to compile it at once. So the compiler compiles the program at once, whereas an interpreter takes a single line of code at one time. Means it will compile, it will interpret the language one by one. For example, Python. Python in Python language, there is an interpreter needed for the execution of Python program. So in Python, the interpreter interprets the language one by one line, then another line, one line, then another line. If there is an error, then it will show the error after that line. But in the compiler phase, in the compiler term, after compilation, it will generate the error or warnings. So let us move to the second difference. That is, the compiler generates an intermediate machine code. So in the previously we have just taken that it has generated the intermediate code, which is here. Intermediate code representation. After analysis phase, it generates intermediate code representation, and we will be understanding these in the upcoming videos, that is phases of compiler. For the time being, now let us understand these, that it is a one difference, that a compiler generates the intermediate machine code, whereas interpreter does not. In the interpreter there is no any concept of generation of intermediate machine code. Now in the third difference, the compiler is best suited for the production environment, and whereas an interpreter is best suited for a software development environment. So it is being told about the IDE, that is integrated development environment. Compiler is best suited for production environment, whereas the interpreter is best suited for software development environment. Now at last, there is a difference of examples. The compiler is used by programming languages such as C, C++, C Sharp, Scala, Java, whereas an interpreter is used by programming languages such as Python, PHP, Perl, Ruby, etc. Hope you have understood the language processing system. Now in the upcoming videos, we will be understanding the phases of compiler. Thank you.